SCP-096's abilities are truly astounding. The Shy Guy becomes unstoppable when it's enraged, and relentlessly chases anyone that observed its face. But speaking of 096's abilities, there's a certain machine that can alter the properties of whatever is inserted inside of it, namely SCP-914. So what if we insert 096 in this machine? Can we use it to terminate the Shy Guy? And what if we tried to enhance 096's abilities using this machine? Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and soon we are exploring more interesting SCP scenarios like this one. To begin with, let's quickly remind ourselves of the machine's properties. SCP-914 is a clockwork machine that can upgrade or downgrade any object. The machine has an input and output boot and 5 settings. The first one, rough, destroys the item. The coarse setting dismantles it. The one-to-one setting returns something similar. The fine setting improves the item, and the very fine preset greatly improves it. So what will happen if we insert SCP-096? Can the rough setting terminate the creature? And would the very fine preset turn the Shy Guy into an unstoppable monster? Well, in order to say, we will have to theorize, because the Shy Guy hasn't been tested with 914 before. But this doesn't mean we can't find any relevant tests in SCP-914's experiment log. In fact, there are quite a lot of interesting 914 tests which are related to the Shy Guy in one way or another. For example, on one occasion, a piece of A4 paper with a sketch of a human face on it was inserted on the fine setting, and the result was a photograph of SCP-096, which luckily for all researchers involved had its face obscured. Also, in a different test, a large block of mineral was inserted in a clockwork machine on the fine preset, and the result was a marble sculpture of SCP-096 covering its face, and a chisel that was laid down perpendicular to the statue. And these are just examples. There are a lot of other 914 tests which feature the Shy Guy in one way or another. But just out of interest, the scientists decided to insert a copy of SCP-096's file in 914 in order to see how the Shy Guy's properties and behavior could change if we actually ran this test. The course setting was selected, and the result was an edited copy of SCP-096's file, whose description and containment procedures were heavily altered. Alright, these tests tell us that SCP-914 is familiar with the Shy Guy, and that the clockwork machine should definitely be capable of upgrading or downgrading the real 096. So with this knowledge in mind, it's time to insert the Shy Guy in SCP-914. Let's begin with the rough setting. This preset usually destroys whatever is inserted in the machine, as we saw in our SCP-173 vs 914 video. However, this won't necessarily be the case with SCP-096. This is because the Shy Guy's body is pretty much indestructible, something which became apparent during its last containment breach, when anti-tank weapons were used against it, and during its fight with SCP-682, an encounter which it survived, of course. Because of this, inserting 096 in the clockwork machine on the rough setting likely won't terminate the Shy Guy. Instead, we will get the next best thing, an injured SCP-096. It's also possible that the machine will remove or diminish some of the Shy Guy's abilities. For example, 096's running speed will be drastically reduced. It won't be capable of running at hundreds of miles per hour anymore. It will no longer be capable of jumping up to space in order to reach someone, and so on. SCP-096's ability to perfectly track the location of whoever saw its face will likely be affected as well, allowing the Shy Guy to only attack people that are nearby. As a result, SCP-096 will often rage in one place, knowing that someone far away observed its face, but without knowing that person's exact location. And lastly, it's even possible that SCP-914's rough setting will remove the Shy Guy's main anomalous trait altogether, and will return a version of 096 that doesn't care about people observing its face. But enough about the rough setting, let's continue. The coarse setting functions similarly to the rough preset, but downgrades the object to a lesser extent, so we won't waste any time discussing it. Just imagine something in between the real SCP-096 and the outcomes we discussed above. Now let's insert the Shy Guy on the 1-to-1 setting. As you already know, this preset returns something similar to the original input, so the obvious outcome would be an alternative 096 with a slightly different look and behavior. For example, a discolored and misshapen Shy Guy that has long legs instead of long arms, a creature that attacks you if you look at its feet instead of its face, and so on. The outcomes on 1-to-1 are nearly endless, but in every case, something about SCP-096 will change. However, it's not entirely certain that the output would be the Shy Guy in the first place. The reason for this is a specific experiment in SCP-914's logs, a test when a picture of 173 was inserted on 1-to-1, and a picture of 096 was the result. So it's entirely possible that the machine will surprise us with a totally different anomaly, such as the concrete sculpture. Alright, let's continue. What about the fine setting? Well, this preset will inevitably increase the Shy Guy's abilities and make 096 more dangerous, something which can happen in many ways. For example, SCP-096's running speed will increase, or the Shy Guy will gain the ability to fly, allowing it to reach its victims faster. It's also possible that the ways in which SCP-096 can be triggered will increase, for example by looking at any part of its body. It's even possible that the Shy Guy will gain a mimetic effect that enrages it whenever information about it is exchanged, just like SCP-2521. In short, putting the Shy Guy in 914 on the fine setting will make it a lot more dangerous and harder to contain. But this upgraded monster won't cause an XK class end of the world scenario. For this, we will need the very fine preset. This setting improves whatever is inserted to a much greater extent, so as you can probably imagine, the results will be devastating. The Shy Guy will exit the machine without being held back by the fact that it can only attack people who saw its face. Instead, SCP-096 will enter a permanent rage state with the intent to eliminate everyone on the planet. But instead of running or flying, SCP-096 will gain the ability to teleport to its targets, allowing it to reach its victims instantly. And the Shy Guy won't need a full minute to perform the redacted procedure it normally uses to eliminate a target. Instead, SCP-096 will terminate people instantly, allowing it to teleport to the next person right away. This will enable the Shy Guy to eliminate everyone on the planet in no time. And finally, it's even possible that SCP-914's very fine setting would turn 096 into a reality-bending anomaly that isn't physically restrained by anything. And of course, in this case, the Shy Guy will likely cause an XK class end of the world scenario instantly. So to summarize, not only is SCP-914 incapable of terminating the Shy Guy, but on the very fine setting, the Clockwork Machine could easily turn 096 into an unstoppable monster, causing an apocalypse. So what do you think? How could we survive the newly upgraded SCP-096? And what should we explore in our next video? Let us know in the comments. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more SCP theory videos.